I'm Anthony B from KLPR 91.1 FM, Kearney, Nebraska. I'm sitting here with Dave Brenner of Theory of Deadman. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. We're sitting here in Wichita, Kansas, and getting ready to go on for the Avalanche tour. So, I guess we get to know you first a little bit. Where'd you guys meet up? Like, how'd you meet with Tyler and Dean?
I actually played in a band with Tyler before I really knew him. He was a friend of another guy that I knew, and we were, just here and living close proximity and small musical scene in the small town that we were in, and just played in a band with him. Didn't really know him when we first played together, and then a year or two later ended up playing in another band with him. Played in other bands and would play shows with his band and all that kind of stuff. And one day my band broke up, and I just called Tyler and said, "Hey, I got no band. Let's jam."
Formed.
And he said, "Hey, we're jamming on Tuesday. Grab some beers and come over." And that's it. Just went over and started jamming with them.
Just a jam session turned into
Well, it was, for me, it was the right place at the right time because I had known, Tyler had done all this stuff, and he had been working on demos for his stuff at the same time that he'd be working on demos for our stuff, my other bands. So he'd help my band out because he'd record at his house, and I'd help him with his stuff. And then when I joined the band, it was literally I was playing the songs that I helped him record.
That's awesome.
But the demo had already been sent out, and it was probably just a few months after I started playing in the band that we started getting some interest. So it was pretty cool. It all happened really fast.
Right on. How'd you guys come up with the name Theory of a Deadman? I've always wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, we had a song actually on our first record called Theory of a Deadman, and like I said, everything happened so fast that we literally didn't have a band name while we had so much interest from labels and stuff, and they're like, "Well, what is this band even called?" And we didn't even know, so it was Dean who suggested, because we had done some work on some of the songs, and the song that was called Theory of a Deadman ended up changing titles to the last song.
Right.
So we just had this phrase, Theory of a Deadman, that we all really liked, and Dean suggested, what about Theory of a Deadman for our band name? And we're like, yeah, we like it. Let's use it.
I always saw it online,
that simple.
So I wasn't sure if the last song was actually Theory of a Deadman.
That's true, that's the truth, yeah. It used to be called Theory of a Deadman. When it was first recorded, it was called Theory of a Deadman. And that would have been recorded as Theory of a Deadman before I was even in the band. I was there when it was being recorded, but I was in a different band, so it's pretty cool history.
Right on. Alright, you guys' first single dropped with Nothing Could Come Between Us, and you guys just kind of, boom, you're in the music scene. I mean, what was that like for you guys? I mean, how old were you?
I was 22. It's actually my birthday today, believe it or not, and I turned 33.
Mine was just 2 days ago on the 19th. So.
My dad's is the 20th, and my best friend's is the 20th too. So there's a lot of us all in this area. 3 days, eh?
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. Let's celebrate tonight. Do some.
I just turned 21 too, so just 2
It's
days.
on.
It's just
21. That means you can start to drink. 21, you can do cocaine. You're probably not allowed to do that legally at 21. No,
if you don't get caught, it's alright.
Yeah, well, you can do it at 12 if you don't get caught.
Alright, so you guys had the second CD, Gasoline. It's probably one of the biggest albums in my life. The song Santa Monica. It's just, you take me through the writing of that song. I mean, that song personally.
That's an old song too, man. To tell you the truth, that song was written before we released our first record, and it was weird because it was one of those songs that we didn't really think of or work on when we did the first record. We were so focused on all these rock songs, and we didn't really know what we were doing. We were a bunch of kids, pretty green. And then when we were writing for Gasoline, Tyler's like, you remember that old song that I used to have? And I don't think it was called Santa Monica either. And I was like, no. And then he played it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. And so he'd worked on it and just changed it. And it was basically a song that he had written probably again before the band was even formed. And he just worked on it a little more after the first record was out, and it turned into a really great song.
Yeah, that song personally has been played probably
a
couple thousands of times.
Yeah, I love it. And you know what? This was always a crowd favorite. We always had people, yelling for it when we first started touring Gasoline. So, of course, we told Roadrunner Records, hey, everybody loves Santa Monica. Maybe we should make it a single. And they're like, no, let's go with Hello Lonely, which didn't do very well for us.
See, that's actually my older brother's favorite song, but he didn't realize it was on the radio because...
Yeah, I never did have much, you know what, there's so much politics that happens in music, and, it doesn't take much. We tried to release Hello Lonely at a time when our label was going through some lineup changes, I guess you could say, and people were changing jobs, and people that were supportive of us were losing their jobs, where other people. So things happen.
They weren't too concerned then.
It is what it is, and here we are, now 10 years later.
Okay, so you guys have quite a bit of music videos. I've always been curious. Do you guys think of the plots of the videos, or do you just kind of just go with it?
Some of them depends. A lot of times you just get you get like a handful of treatments sent to you, and you'll read through them and you'll be like, oh, that sucks, and you'll be like, oh, this is kind of cool, but what if we did this? And you start to work with the guy. Once you pick out whichever idea you like the best, then you'll just start working with that director with his treatment and figure out how to make it work.
Is there anyone in particular that's your favorite?
Video?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get the guys to animate a video for a long time, which hasn't happened, just so I don't have to show up. But no, I don't know. Favorite video? I liked the Hate My Life video.
That's good.
Just because it was a little something different for us. It was like a one continuous shot, so it was kind of neat. It was cool for me because they had to get Tyler had to do all this stuff, so he spent like hours, and I just laid there and napped all day. So it's probably my favorite.
I'd have to say I'll go with No Surprise. That's one of my favorites.
No Surprise
Crazy
is
girl
pretty
just
cool,
smashing stuff.
Yeah, she was pretty hot too. That chick.
Yeah, she was doing all right.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
That's got to be a little tough. On
I
the
should
rock scene,
I should say the Bad Girlfriend video, because we had literally shot it in a strip club, and we shared a dressing room with the strippers, so they'd just be like naked, and we'd be like, this is awesome.
See, that's such the hard thing about rock and roll. It's just nasty. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry you guys have to deal with
And
that.
then I'd be naked, and they'd be like, why are you naked? And I'd be like, what?
Why aren't you?
What?
Strip club, have some fun, right? Alright, you guys' last CD, just Scars and Souvenirs, blew up. Bad Girlfriend #1. Take me through that. I mean, you guys were a big name already, but the CD dropped and it was just massive.
Yeah, for me, it always feels it's like there's so much of it is right place, right time. I think that to me, Gasoline was as strong a record as Scars and Souvenirs was. It's just the planets aligned when Scars and Souvenirs came out, and we released a single. So Happy off of that record that really worked well at rock radio, and it was our first single back, and it was it was a heavy rocker and a good introduction, and then with Bad Girlfriend, and then even Hey My Life, with the economic struggles that were happening, I think that us having a record that had a lot of humor laced in with it, I think really helped, because people were like getting depressed at how crappy everything was, and everybody was broke. People wanted music to be a release. They wanted to go to a rock show to have a good time and forget about their troubles. And then a song like Hate My Life, which wasn't written necessarily with an economic crash in mind, really became pretty popular when it was like, I hate my job, I hate driving in traffic. It was just one of those songs where everybody related to it, because a lot of people were having bad days. So.
It was probably about September. I got a phone call from about a 65-year-old lady on the radio, and she was like, "Hey, will you play that Deadman song about hating my life?" So
nice.
That's probably one of my favorite moments.
She was flashing us at the show that night.
Guaranteed.
It's pretty hot.
So, all right. Speaking of that, what's the craziest thing you've seen a fan do?
I had not just me. We were doing an autograph signing. I think it was like Memphis or something. And we were doing an autograph signing. We're all sitting there at a table. I remember it vividly. It was Dean, Tyler, and then me, and then Joe. And this chick was like, wearing a bikini top or something, and a bit of a belly on her, And she's like, hit Dean and then Tyler and got an autograph, and then in front of me. And I was like, signing. I'm like, how's everything going? Talking to her, and then she goes, and this is literally what she said. She goes, so you have something to tell your friends back home? She pulled her boob out and squeezed it and started spraying milk out of her boob right in front of me, and I was like, are you seeing this? And she was not spraying it at me, right? She was spraying it this way along the table, just in the direction of the line where there was a kid in front of her. I think he was getting hit, and Joe was beside me. He's dry heaving. He's like, and I'm like, witness this, come on, witness this. So we had some people, like our tour manager saw it, and all these people witnessed it, and it's pretty jaw-dropping.
That's amazed. The best one I've heard so far.
She set it up, too. She's like, so you have something to tell your friends back home, and I told a lot of my friends that story.
I thought you were just going to say she took her top off. Nope, way.
She took it to another level. And I was like, oh, coffee?
Coffee, get out of here, lady.
Hit it up. Hit it up.
All right, growing up, who do you think was one of your biggest influences as a guitar player?
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains for sure.
Alice in Chains.
I loved everything. You know, we're in Vancouver, so everything from the Seattle scene just like would hit us in Vancouver like a ton of bricks. And I was into Pearl Jam and Nirvana and all those bands, but Alice in Chains was the one that when I started listening to Alice in Chains, listening to it was no longer good enough. I was like, I need to know how to play it. But there was no other band before that where I really was like, I need to know how to play this stuff. And with Alice in Chains, I literally taught myself how to play guitar by learning Alice in Chains songs.
So that's when your passion really started.
Really, it did, yeah.
How old were you then?
I would say probably 14 or 15.
Really?
Years old.
That's probably one of the latest I've actually.
Yeah, it was later.
Heard.
You know, and I actually started, and I always had a guitar. My dad played guitar, so I always had guitars around the house. And, it was a good thing is, you don't want as a parent to force your kids into anything because they tried to force me to play piano when I was a kid. And yeah, when you're being forced, you don't want to do it. So there was always guitars around, and I tried in like early high school, like the 8th or 9th grade, to take a guitar class, and the teacher was such a douchebag. And then so I didn't play, and then in the 11th grade, I started playing again with in school, and the teacher was like the opposite. He was like one of the best teachers ever, and it made it a lot of fun again. So that's when I say I really started, because I couldn't tune a guitar before that.
It's probably one of the harder things to do.
Wow.
Your 8th and 9th grade teacher right now is probably telling everybody, yeah, I taught him how to play guitar, and he's going to see this and be like, oh no.
I hope he does see it. I think his name was Mr. Johnson. Mother.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it was alright. It's just like, like a class that's like a music class. I think teachers need to not be as strict and be a little bit more about making it fun to learn, because
Everybody's got
like
style.
if you're trying to learn music, I mean, not everybody wants to learn how to play Michael Row the Boat Ashore.
Yeah.
So just make it fun for people to learn music, and then there'll be more, people that are into music.
Santa Monica was actually the first song that I actually picked up a guitar and was like, I gotta learn how to play
Nice.
that. I thought harmonics was going to be a little easier than the rest of the guitar.
It's pretty easy, the harmonics. You got
I hated that. I hated the harmonics.
It's easy.
I know.
Once you get it,
not
once
good.
you get it, you gotta start somewhere. We're actually talking because we're, putting together another tour pretty soon. We're looking at the possibility of putting up some video screens, and we thought it'd be cool because there's so much YouTube footage of like soldiers overseas playing Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Or all these people. There's so much footage of people playing Santa Monica. We always thought it'd be cool to show a bunch of like people playing Santa Monica on the big screen before we play it. We thought that'd be cool.
So I actually talked with Tyler coming down here about the new tour coming out.
All right.
Tell anything about that?
I don't really know how much we can talk about since nothing's really official yet, but a summer package that would be going out in probably August, and I think it's going to be a really great lineup. We're looking at some awesome bands that we're really excited about. I think it'd be a similar tour to like Avalanche, the way it's set up, 5 bands
awesome.
maybe. Same kind of venues and whatnot, but we're all really excited about it.
Okay.
I don't know if I should say anything just because I don't know yet. So.
All right. Now, Tyler mentioned a couple new tracks tonight.
Yeah.
That you're going to be playing, and he said something about July, a new CD, a new album coming out.
Yeah, July 12th is the date that we've got for the new record's release.
All right. Can you tell anything about it or the name of it? Or?
No, probably not supposed to do that either, but who cares? We're going to call the record The Truth Is. And, I don't really know what to say. We're all really excited. There's some awesome songs on the record. And we're playing a couple of the fun rockers tonight, and one of them will be our first single.
Know what that is by chance?
Yeah, I think it's a song called Low Life, and so you'll hear it tonight. But it's a cool tune. Bunch of rockers, some fun stuff.
Sounds great. Guess one last question. Favorite guitar of all time?
Favorite guitar, like something I own, or favorite guitar, like just...
You just want.
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I don't know.
Talked to a couple singers, but never the lead guitarist.
Well, I gotta go. I got a custom guitar, and tonight's a big night for me, being a huge hockey fan. We're Vancouver Canucks fans.
Doing well.
So we're playing in Chicago tonight, and I got a guitar that I got custom painted by a guy who paints NHL goaltender masks.
Really?
He painted me a custom Vancouver Canucks Flying V, so it's a Flying V, but it's got the old Canuck jersey, which is what we used to call the Flying V, which is just like the yellow and orange stripes on the black jersey. It's really voted like the ugliest jersey of all time. but I just don't care. It's got my name on the back, like on the back of the guitar, like it's a jersey. And
So
my
you're just
number.
pumped for the hockey game then?
Oh yeah, we're diehard.
They're up 3-1, right?
They're up 3-1, and the game starts at 9 tonight, and we're on stage till about 9:15. So, or 9:20, I should say. So we come off stage, and the game will be about 5 minutes in, I expect.
Sounds great.
And then it's crack a beer. Hit some illegal narcotics. We'll see.
Yeah. See what the night brings.
I don't know
right?
who's editing this for.
I'll edit it. But it's been Dave Brenner with KLPR 91.1. I just want to thank you, man.
Hey, it's my
been
pleasure.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.